Do not make a permanent decision in a temporary season, because what happened to the person who almost quit will change everything about what you decide in the next 15 minutes. I need to talk to you about something you have not said out loud yet. The thought that has been forming quietly in the background of your faith. That you are afraid to even finish thinking, because if you say it out loud, it might become real. I am not sure I believe anymore. I have been trying for so long, and nothing has changed. Maybe God is real, but maybe He is not real for me. Maybe everyone else gets the miracles, and I just keep getting the waiting. I know you have not said it in church. I know you have not posted it online. I know you have kept showing up, kept praying, kept performing the faith even when you did not feel it. Because letting people see that you are this close to walking away feels like the most dangerous thing you could do. But I need you to stay for the next 15 minutes. Because what I am about to show you happened to one of the most powerful men of faith in the entire Bible. A man who performed miracles, a man who heard from God directly, a man whose prayers called down fear from heaven, and he almost quit. And what God did when He found him on the floor, ready to give up, will change what you do in the next 24 hours. Stay with me, because before I tell you what God did, I need you to feel the full weight of how Elijah got to the floor, because he did not start there. He started at the top. And understanding how someone that close to God, that powerful, that faithful, can end up begging to die, will help you understand exactly why you feel the way you feel right now. 1 Kings 18. Elijah, God's prophet, had just experienced the greatest moment of his life. Mount Carmel, 450 prophets of Baal on one side, Elijah alone on the other. He prayed, and fire fell from heaven. Not a small fire. Fire that consumed the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, the soil, and licked up the water in the trench. The crowd fell on their faces. The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God. Elijah's greatest victory light on the most undeniable demonstration of God's power he had ever witnessed. And then, one verse later, 1 Kings 19:2. So Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah to say, "May the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like that of one of them." One threat from one woman, and 1 Kings 19:3 says, Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. The man who called down fire from heaven ran from one threat, from one person, one message, and that is how it happens. Not a dramatic collapse, one thing, at the wrong moment, after you have already given everything you had, and he ran, and eventually sat down under a broom bush and prayed to die. "I have had enough, Lord. Take my life. I am no better than my ancestors. I have had enough." The man who had just seen the most powerful miracle of his generation said, "I have had enough, and I want to stop here because I need you to understand something about how Elijah got here. That explains how you got to where you are. Because Elijah did not give up because he was weak. He gave up because he was empty. And there is a massive difference between the two. Weakness is a character issue. Emptiness is a capacity issue. And what God did next did not address Elijah's weakness, because that was not the problem. God addressed something else entirely. Something so practical, so human, so simple, that the first time I read it, I had to stop and just sit with it. 1 Kings 19:5. All at once, an angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." That is it. God's response to his prophet saying, "Let me die," was, "Get up and eat." Not, "You should be ashamed of yourself." Not, Look at what I just did for you. Not, where is your faith? Get up and eat. And verse 6, he looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over hot coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank and then lay down again. He ate and lay back down, and the angel came a second time. Verse 7, the angel of the Lord came back a second time and touched him and said, Get up and eat, for the journey is too great for you. The journey is too great for you. God did not say, You are too weak. He said, The journey is too great. There is a difference. One blames the person, the other acknowledges the weight. And then, verse 8, so he got up and ate and drank. Strengthened by that food, he traveled 40 days and 40 nights until he reached Horeb, the mountain of God. Strengthened by that food, not by a sermon, not by a lecture, not by being reminded of what he had just done, by bread and water and rest. And what God did with a man who wanted to die was to feed him, let him sleep, feed him again, and then send him on the next assignment. Not after Elijah pulled himself together, not after Elijah proved he was worthy. While Elijah was still lying on the ground under a bush, God sent food. And I want to say something directly to the person watching, who is lying under their own bush right now. God is not waiting for you to get up before He comes. He comes to you where you are, under the bush, on the floor, in the car, in the silence after everyone else has gone to sleep. He comes there first. Now, I want to show you what happened next in Elijah's story, because the bread and the water were only the beginning. What God said to Elijah at Horeb, the mountain of God, is the part of this story most people never read past. Because there is a question God asked Elijah that He is asking you, and how you answer it will determine what the next chapter of your life looks like. Before I show you, if you are watching this and you recognize what Elijah felt, if you have been under your own broom bush, exhausted, asking God why, wondering if it is worth it, type "under the bush" in the comments, just 3 words, because you are not alone there, and the God who sent an angel to Elijah under his bush sees you under yours. Type it and stay with me, because what God asked Elijah on the mountain is the question that changes everything. 1 Kings 19:9. There he went into a cave and spent the night. And the word of the Lord came to him, What are you doing here, Elijah? What are you doing here? Not, You should not be here. Not, I am disappointed in you. Not, Get back to work. What are you doing here? A question. And Elijah answered honestly, verse 10, I have been very zealous for the Lord God Almighty. The Israelites have rejected your covenant, torn down your altars, and put your prophets to death with the sword. I am the only one left, and now they are trying to kill me too. I am the only one left. And God listened. He did not correct him immediately. He let him speak. He heard the whole thing, and then God did something unexpected. He did not send another miracle. He sent a whisper. Verse 12, after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice, a still small voice. God had shown Elijah wind, earthquake, fire, and he was in none of them. He was in the whisper. And this is the most important thing I want you to hear today. When you are under the bush, when you are in the cave, when you are exhausted and empty and done, you are looking for the earthquake, for the big sign, for the undeniable miracle, for the fear from heaven again. But God, in this season, is in the whisper, and the whisper can only be heard when you are still enough to stop running and sit in the cave long enough to hear it. Your exhaustion is not a disqualification. It might be the very thing that finally made you still enough to hear what God has been saying all along. And then, verse 13, after the whisper, God asked again, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Same question, second time. Because God was not asking for information, He was asking Elijah to examine himself, to say out loud what he was feeling, to name the exhaustion, to name the fear, to name the "I am the only one," because God already knew the answer to that last one. Verse 18, "Yet I reserve 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not bowed down to Baal, and whose mouths have not kissed him." 7,000. Elijah thought he was alone. There were 7,000 others. And the lie that you are alone, the lie that you are the only one still trying, still believing, still showing up, is the same lie that put Elijah under the bush. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And the God who knew about 7,000, when Elijah could only see himself, knows what you cannot see from where you are sitting right now. Now I want to give you 3 things that Elijah did between the bush and the next assignment. 3 things that God used to take a man who wanted to die and turn him into someone who still had work to do. And the third one is what I want you to do today, not tomorrow. Today, thing number 1, he let someone come to him. Elijah did not pull himself together and go find help. He collapsed under the bush and let the angel come to him. There is something deeply important here for the person who has been handling everything alone. You do not have to get yourself together before help comes. Help comes to you where you are, but you have to stop running long enough to let it reach you. The angel could not have fed Elijah if he was still running. Stop running. Let someone in, a friend, a pastor, a counselor, a safe person who can sit with you in the cave. In Elijah's case, God sent an angel. In your case, He may send a friend, a counselor, a safe person who sits with you in the hard place. The form changes, the principle does not. God provides for the exhausted. Let the provision reach you. Thing number 2, he answered God's question honestly. When God asked, "What are you doing here?" Elijah did not say, "I am fine." He did not perform strength. He did not pretend. He said everything: the zealousness, the rejection, the loneliness, the fear. He poured it all out, and God heard it, and did not correct it, did not lecture it, did not dismiss it. He heard it, and then whispered. When was the last time you told God the actual version of how you are? Not the church version, not the prayer meeting version, the real version, the "I am done" version, the "I don't know if I believe" version, the "I am the only one and I am out of strength" version. He can handle it. He handled it from the man who called fire from heaven. He can handle it from you. Thing number 3, and this is for today, he ate and rested and ate again. Before God gave Elijah the next assignment, he made sure Elijah's body was taken care of. Sleep, food, rest. If you are under the bush today, before you figure out your theology, before you work through your doubts, before you decide what you believe, take care of your body. Sleep, eat something, rest. Because Elijah's theology did not change between the bush and the mountain of God. His body did. And sometimes, what feels like a crisis of faith is a body that has been running on empty for too long. God knows the difference, and He sent bread before He sent a whisper. Take care of yourself, and if what you are carrying has become something darker than exhaustion, do not carry it alone. God has never asked you to, let me close with this. After the bread, after the rest, after the earthquake and the fire and the whisper, after Elijah answered the question twice, God gave him a new assignment. 1 Kings 19:15. The Lord said to him, "Go back the way you came." Go back. Not find a new calling, not start over somewhere else, not your ministry is over because you sat under a bush. Go back. The same road, the same calling, the same assignment, but a different version of Elijah. One who had been fed, one who had been heard, one who had sat in the cave long enough to hear the whisper. And 2 Kings 2 tells us how Elijah's story ended. He did not die. He was taken up in a whirlwind, in a chariot of fire, into heaven. The man who begged God to let him die was the man God decided did not have to. And I want to say this to the person who came into this video almost decided. Your story is not over. The broom bush is not the last scene. It is the scene before the whisper, before the bread, before the new assignment, before the chariot. Do not make a permanent decision in a temporary season. If today reached you, save this video. Come back to it on the days the bush feels permanent, and share it with someone who is under their bush right now, because they need to know Elijah sat there too, and God came to him there, not after he got up. There,